Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 195 for Tuesday, the 30th of January, 2024. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G. And joining me this evening is...
Sensei Switch.
And that's it, just me and Darren tonight.
Old school.
Old school. I doubt this is going to be a long one, so apologies, but it's all good. Been playing some new games, a little bit of news, so we're all good. So, yeah, I'm going to kick us off, Darren.
Go for it.
Right, so I know I was saying, I think a week or two ago, that there's loads of new games coming out, and I'm not going to buy any of them, apart from a couple. One of them was Like a Dragon... Infinite Wealth. Well, I went back on that on Friday. Now, I'm going to provide this with... The game's obviously like 70 quid brand new. And I'm trying to be diligent with money at the minute.
Bit frugal.
Yeah. However... I remembered a conversation I'd had with a member of our community last year, months and months ago, and I completely forgot about it, that there was a couple of websites that you could buy Xbox digital keys from like abroad, like Egyptian or Turkey, like these codes for the games, because they're cheaper in them countries' video games, like a lot cheaper. And then the way you redeem them on the Xbox is you have to go to the Xbox website with the VPN on for that country you've bought the code for. And then it's just on your account. So that's what I did for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So it's a website called Eneba, ENEBA.com. And, it was 20 quid. 20 quid for a brand new release. So I was like, you know what? For 20 quid, I can do it. Not going to get any cheaper than that. So, picked up Friday. And I'm really glad I have, Darren, because it's now Sunday and we're recording. And I've already played the game for 9 hours.
Nice.
Mate, I'm loving it. It is so good. It is probably one of the best games I've played in the Yakuza franchise. Now, what's quite surprising is, obviously, I played the demo for this after finishing The Man Who Erased His Name, because it's kind of the precursor to this. Like the stories, well, you've seen the trailers and stuff anyway, right? You know that Kiryu is in this one in Hawaii with Ichiban, who's the guy from the last Like a Dragon game. So basically, The Man Who Erased His Name, the end of the game shows you why Kiryu's in Hawaii and shit like that. So that, bit of story there. Now, what's quite surprising to me is in that I thought the game, now this isn't really a spoiler, but it was a surprise. I thought the game was just set in Hawaii. However, the beginning chapters of the game are set in the original map from the first game, that original city.
Yeah.
The whole city's there. So basically got two massive areas in this game. So, because basically you're not just the game doesn't start in Hawaii. It starts off in the original city, and it gives you the reasoning why Ichiban goes to Hawaii, if that makes sense. It's really well done. It's a really good story, actually. It is really wacky. So, I mean, the map's huge. I've not even uncovered half of the map yet, which is nuts. But it's just the main storyline is, as in any Yakuza / Like a Dragon game, is quite serious as to what's going on. But the rest of it is wacky as fuck, mate. It is so fucking funny. It is unbelievable. Even my little boy has been watching me play it. Now, I've obviously not been doing the main story stuff while he's been watching me, because it's obviously got blood and stuff that a 6-year-old shouldn't really be watching, right? But the other stuff he's found hilarious now, because you've got like all these little side missions you can do, and side kind of not story ones, which you do have, but things you can repeat over and over again for like money and stuff like that. So there's one which is hilarious. It's called Crazy Delivery, which is basically just like Crazy Taxi, even has the logo for Crazy Taxi and all sorts. But
Sega's own franchise, isn't it? So why not?
Yeah. So it's called Crazy Delivery. And basically, it opens up a massive portion of the map, and you've got to collect burgers, pizzas, and deliver them to people all over the map, but all while like going really fast, doing jumps and tricks. It's really funny. Really, really funny. But some of the wacky ones are, so there's one side repeatable mission called Sicko Snap. Mate, it is fucking hilarious. So basically, there's trams that run around Hawaii, and you get on this tram and you get a camera, and the main mission is to take pictures of these sickos. And they're basically men in their underpants, like dancing around, like really silly, popping out of bushes and stuff like that. Really fucking weird, but it is absolutely hilarious at the same time. So there's that, and then you've got all your sub stories dotted around the map, which are kind of like your side quests. You're meeting different people doing different things. I've done well at the minute where I am. I'm only on chapter 3 of the game, and I'm looking at my map now, and I have no sub stories left to do. On the map that I've uncovered. So basically I'm going to head to the next main story thing, because the way it's up, it is a bit like a traditional RPG in sorts. So basically, different areas of Hawaii are have tougher enemies than others. So you kind of need to level up before venturing into the other areas. Otherwise you just get absolutely pwned, which has happened to me
Makes sense.
times. Yeah. So it really pays off to do the fights. Now it is ridiculous, because on the streets there's like red dots of enemies to fight everywhere. It is insane. But it's fun at the same time, because it is that traditional turn-based kind of fighting, and you using your tactics, and you've got all your health items like sandwiches and things like that. Which is fine. And then if you don't want to be using your items and you're not in a battle, you just go to a restaurant, have a bite to eat and a drink, and it recovers your health and stuff. So yeah, story-wise, mate, I've not actually got too far into it. I've only got just past the bit which I did in the demo, because in the demo there was a story portion, and I've literally only just got past that. So I'm not actually that far into the main story. I'm not sure how many chapters there are. I've not looked it up. But so I'm only on chapter 3. So, I mean, usually they're about 17, 18 chapters, these games. So, let me just have a look. Infinite Wealth. Oh, for fuck's sake. Infinite Wealth chapters. Oh, for fuck's sake. Infinite Wealth chapters. Just Google it. 14 chapters, apparently. But if you just mainlined the main story, it says on this website, you're looking at about 50 hours. Just if you mainline.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that is good without all the side content. Yeah.
Yeah, it says if you're sticking strictly to the main story and avoiding all side missions, sub stories, and bonds, then you should be able to finish it between 40 and 50 hours. It says for most people casually who will do some of the side content, it will take between 60 and 80. Wow. So I'm looking. So this is my plan. I mean, I want to do as much as I can in the game because obviously this is gonna. My aim is to make this game last me until at least the Final Fantasy Rebirth. So I've got a month really. But the good thing is the sub stories are on the map, so you can see where they are. But there's all these other things to do as well. So you have a smartphone in the game, and there's a main mission. It's called Aloha Links. So basically, it's like a Facebook thing, and it's making friends with all these people in Hawaii, and then you can build up your relationships with them as well by giving them presents and stuff. And there's 200 people to meet, which is mad. So I've only got 21. And then there's another sub-story thing. It's not on the phone, but it is in the game. It is. I'm trying to.
Is it the island retreat thing or whatever it is?
I've not even unlocked that. So there's that as well. The island retreat. So I've not even unlocked that yet. But there's another one which is a. Where is it? It's like a dating thing. I found it. Mismatch, it's called. So I did the first one because it was a sub-story, and I've unlocked it now. So basically, it's online dating.
Right.
And you do so basically, it's like a mini game where you have to reply to the messages, and you have to decide on the conversations. But as you're typing the conversation, you got to tap the face buttons on your controller in a certain order and a certain time limit as well.
All right, yep.
So I've done it once and I failed. But it's a little bit. It's very Japanese. So basically, there's 3 levels in it, right? So when you're looking at it, it's like a screen with a bar, and there's 3 sections. So the first 2 sections are pictures, and then the last one is a heart. And I think you meet them on a date. But the first 2 ones are kind of pictures. So the first one was of some cleavage, and the next one was of some legs. So it's a bit raunchy.
Well, the Yakuza games, didn't you run what they called maid cafes and stuff in some of them?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. Well, in the last one, in the Man Who Raised His Name, there was one where you meet them and then you talk to them, but it was all real video.
All right, weird.
Yeah. Whereas I was reading today, I haven't done this, but apparently on that mismatch thing, they actually they use real Japanese models, famous models in it.
Oh, right, yeah, glamour models and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just one of those very unique Japanesey things, if that makes sense, in the game that you would not see in anything else. It was kind of weird. I was like, okay. But you have to go to this certain lady sitting in this restaurant to do it each time because she does it on her laptop or something. It's really weird because she says that she's a fortune teller or something. It's really bizarre. So yeah, there's all these strange, one of those just strange things, and some of the sub stories have been really funny. So there's one of them where. Obviously, it's got a massive beach on it. It's in Hawaii, and then you've got to help out the lifeguard by going around the beach and giving people water who are dehydrated or finding lost kids and stuff like that. And then there was a really weird one where you had to help out this kid with his lemonade stand, and then some stuff happens with his dad and stuff like that, and then you get into fights and things. It's really odd. But I'm really liking it. Now, the world is really well done. It looks and feels very lived in because there's lots of people walking around. There's lots of traffic, and there is multiple ways to get around. Now, if you want to get around quickly, they've made it a lot easier than the previous Yakuza games. So, in the previous ones, you had to run to a taxi, and they're always in different areas, and then you pay like, I don't know, 20 quid or whatever, and then it takes you to wherever you want to go in the map that has another taxi icon. Whereas in this one, all you need to do is open the map, and then you just click the X button on the taxi stand you want to go to, and it fast travels you there. So they've made it a lot quicker to move around the map if you want to do that. Now, I've only used it a couple of times because I actually quite enjoy just taking in the scenery and enjoying the world that they've created. But they've made it a bit quicker, so it's worth doing the sub stories because you only unlock this during a sub story. You get a segue.
All right, yeah.
It's not actually called a segue, but it is. But so you can just pull that out if you press. I think it's like up on the D-pad. I was down on the D-pad, up as pictures, and then you can go around quickly on the Segway. But it has a battery on it, and then you can only charge it at these specific charge points. You know, like Tesla has specific charge points or anything like that. But it lasts quite a bit of time. But you still can get into fights whilst you're on it because you go up. You know, you got the enemies walking around. And then if you're in their vision, it still starts the fight, so you don't avoid the battles. So that's the thing. And it is like a traditional RPG. You say you need to do the battles to level up. And also what I've found is weapons and gear are really expensive as well. So it's really hard to acquire new stuff.
But I always used to, like, when I used to play RPGs, that was always one of my favourite things. Like, when you first get to a town and you're like, oh, they sell new weapons and armour. And then you'd go off and you'd grind just outside town to get enough money. And when you actually got all the weapons and the armour and then you felt that jump in your characters sort of getting stronger, that was part of the satisfaction.
Yeah, now that is like because there is different areas in Hawaii where they have better and better weapon shops. Now, what's really funny is there is actual shops that are weapon shops. Like there's one called the Ganryujama Armory, which sells traditional Japanese weapons, and I haven't bought anything there because I can't afford it. However, the first shop you go to buy, shall we say, weapons and armour, is a sex shop.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure there was a sex shop in the original, Like a Dragon, where you could buy like club-type weapons from.
Yeah, so my character's main weapon at the minute is a giant dildo. Oh, yeah, it's fucking weird. But all the other characters have got normal stuff. But my character, has that, which is just funny as fuck. Because like it's a big white one, and it has like a bit on the top that like a massager thing, and it's always spinning around.
Good God!
Oh yeah, I know. So yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, now obviously, I have been a bit worried about Japanese games recently with some of the stuff I've been reading in the media that they're looking at toning down some stuff to appeal to more of a worldwide / Western audience. However, that
obviously was never the appeal of those games anyway. People bought them because they were from another country and they didn't usually adhere to the usual generic stuff that Western games do.
But I'm hoping from what I've told you about this let's put your mind at ease that they haven't done that in this.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, there's always been like happy mediums. Like even if you look at things like, say, Dark Souls, that's like a Western styled game by a Japanese developer. Same with like Dragon's Dogma, etc. Like it can work, but if certain games are known for being a certain way, then I don't think those games should change from that.
Yeah.
To appease like 5 or 6 people on like social media that moan.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I think it's a great game. I'm really pleased I picked it up now because, as I say, I was on the fence, even though I was really wanting it, but I just, as I say, I just wasn't, just not really wanting to spend a lot of money on games at the minute.
I have it myself.
Yeah,
I haven't played it yet, obviously.
Well, you're still looking at finishing The Man Who Erased His Name, aren't you? Which I really recommend you do.
Starting The Man Who Erased His Name.
Oh my god. Okay, well, get on it because this is so good, man. It's just there's just so much to do, and as I say, I've not even scratched the surface really because I've not unlocked a lot of stuff still, like that island that you mentioned. So yeah, I can't wait to unlock all that because I'm playing this properly. I'm taking my time with it, doing everything. I want to at least do every single sub story because I really love the sub stories in the Yakuza games anyway because they're just so wild and wacky and crazy, and they just make me laugh so much. And it's one of the reasons why I really like playing these games. You know, it's just because there's just something so different to everything else that's out there. You know, and that's what I really like. I just like playing something completely different, and it's just fantastic, mate. It really, really is. So, I mean, I don't really know what else I can say about it, really, because I haven't obviously done any else of the main stories so far. But it's just if you enjoy the Yakuza games, this is definitely worth it. It is fucking brilliant. Now I always find it hard to recommend to newcomers because, from my point of view, I've played them all from zero in that order, and I feel like I've been on a multi-year journey with these characters. Well, not obviously the newer character, but with Kiryu anyway. But the games have kind of joined together, and I've been on, a multi-year journey, hundreds of hours for all these games, And I think if you're someone brand new, yes, this is a great game, and it does give you a little bit of a backstory of Ichiban, who's the newer main character, but not of Kiryu, really. So I think you'd be missing out on quite a bit if you don't play the old games. However,
would you say you'd just be able to play Man Who Erased His Name and kind of get a rough idea
of Kiryu, yes, but not of Ichiban, because of Ichiban you really need to play
the first one, Like a Dragon.
Yeah, so it's hard to say, but if you're not bothered about their backstories, I'd say you'd probably have fun with it. I think it's a really good way of seeing the Japanese culture in a weird way as well, because obviously this is set in Hawaii, but I think it's an interesting way of seeing just how they are, what their sense of humour is like out there, and just some of the weird stuff that they get up to, if that makes sense. And I just find it fascinating. I really do.
I mean, I think a lot of it also does come down to the fact that it's a culture that is very anti substance abuse.
Yeah.
Outside of alcohol, and very, very work focused. So it's kind of like you get your entertainment and enjoyment where you can.
Yeah.
And it obviously is nothing really like the West per se, and I think that's a good thing because I think all parts of the world should be different. They shouldn't be a conglomerate mesh of just meh, where everywhere's the bloody same.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just find it. I mean, I've grown up playing Japanese RPGs and stuff anyway, so I've kind of been used to that sort of stuff anyway. But not like this. I just find it interesting because they have a different set of values out there, and a lot of their values I find quite appealing, to be honest. As you said, like with the work ethic, and even like the
respectful and that as well,
and even the bad guys in these games have a code of honor, and it's just really fascinating to see,
Well, even if you go back to say even the original, like we'll say like the Italian mob back in the day, there was a whole thing of, like you say, kinship, family, and all of that, like a code of honor.
Yeah.
And it was all like the young bucks coming in and trying to sort of like bring in like cocaine and heroin into their like industries and stuff, which ended up separating a lot of the older members from like obviously these young and upstarts. And that's when a lot of the mob wars started.
Yeah.
Over things like that.
Yeah.
So it's always quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's right, because like, I remember one of the older Yakuza games where there was actually a main story plot about drugs and stuff, and and the leaders of the big clans were like, no, we wouldn't do that, etc., etc. It was quite interesting, But I really like these games just because they are so different, and I really enjoy the main stories because they are very serious, and you get kind of that Yakuza kind of mob story. But then as I said, on the flip side, all the other stuff is just crazy Japanese, and it is so fucking funny. It really is. Like I in previous ones, but especially in this one, I've literally been laughing out loud at some of the stuff because it is just absolutely hilarious. It really is. Now,
I mean, a good like contrast to that, in theory, is if you look at like the main storyline of Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Hildebrand side quests.
Yeah, and they're funny.
Completely like out there. And like with all these funny animations and facial expressions and stuff and things going on that are completely out of the ordinary for what's going on in the actual world itself.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I will say something else. Now, I've played all of the Yakuza / Like a Dragon games because they are actually called Like a Dragon now. They've dropped the Yakuza name completely from the franchise. However,
I still follow under Yakuza in my game collection.
Yeah, it's like I'm finding it hard to not say Yakuza, even though it's like Twitter changing its name to X. I can't bring myself to call it X. It's just kind of like that. But yeah, I've always played them all in Japanese. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is I've started playing it. I started playing it in Japanese. How I was playing it today with Marcus, and he asked me to switch it to English because he wanted to understand what was going on in some of the sub stories that I was playing today. And so, what's weird about it is it doesn't like when you're playing it in Japanese, it kind of doesn't make sense, the game, because you walk into any shop or a pub or something like that, and it's straight away. Everyone's Japanese, and it's like, and it's like, well, I'm in Hawaii, this isn't making sense to me. So I switched it to English for Marcus, and I haven't changed it back yet. And I'll tell you what, the English voice actors for Ichiban and Kiryu do not sound right for the characters at all. They sound like really weedy voices. They're not like gruff men voices at all.
Well, as far as I'm aware, you know of Yong Ye, don't you? The YouTuber.
Yeah.
He's the voice of Kiryu.
He does not sound right for Kiryu at all. Really doesn't. Sounds shit. But anyway, but what's strange is there is some instances where, even if it's in Japanese, there is certain times where the Americans do speak American. Only like in some scenarios. That's all
It's
I'm
not
going to
like
say.
the weird broken English, is it? Oh my god, or something like that.
It is a little bit, actually. Yeah, it doesn't sound like proper. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a bit odd.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you got that. So yeah, I'm not sure what language I'm going to keep it on now, to be honest, because it's just kind of, it's not, it doesn't sit quite right with me either way, if that makes sense. However, there is now, even in the Japanese version, like, so when you're going around the world, you can listen to podcasts. You can listen to podcasts on your phone as you're going
Are they
around.
created for the game, I imagine?
Yeah. The game was.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, there's some of these that are in English and some of them that are in Japanese. And that's actually in either version. So even if you're playing in Japan. So yeah, sorry, that I just had to step away for a moment. So yeah, we're talking about the podcasts in Yakuza. Now, there aren't just podcasts; it's just music and stuff like that as well. But as I was saying, like, some of them are in Japanese and some of them are English, and that's just how you get them. No matter what version of the game you're on. So that's quite interesting as well, I think. So I'm not really sure there's much else I can really say about the game, to be honest, mate, because even though I've played it for like nine hours now, that's pretty much where I'm up to, if that makes sense. So, because as I said, I've just been really just going around doing all the side stuff before cracking on with the main stuff. But the side stuff that I've come across has been really good. Really, really good.
Have you met the famous man yet?
The famous man.
Yes, I've seen that a pretty well-known actor is in the game.
Well, no, because no. Or if I have no idea who they are. Is this a Japanese actor or a British actor or American actor?
Oh, Western. He's Mexican actor, but he's in it apparently.
What, main story?
You'll know it when
stuff.
I believe so. Yeah, you'll know it when you see him. So it'll be easy enough. You'll be like, that guy. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. No, I've not. So, but no, it's a great game, and it has. I like it because it's such a mishmash between like a proper turn-based JRPG and just a crazy Yakuza game, whereas all the older Yakuza games have been like the fighting's been very arcadey, button mashy stuff. So it's really cool that they've made the combat really fun to play, like in the other Like a Dragon game. I think they did a really good job with it.
I mean, do you reckon they're going to continue to try and please both audiences by doing sort of spin-off games in the old style and keeping like the main line Like a Dragon stuff turn-based?
They could do. I think that might work quite well, to be honest. Yeah, I think that could work quite well, to be fair, yeah. Just to keep both audiences happy, because as I say, I really enjoyed the man who raised his name and that old school combat, but again, I'm really liking this as well. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I know Elliot in our chat group sort of said, it seems like there's a new Yakuza game out every couple of months recently. And I thought, well, they technically did dump all of the older titles on Game Pass in one go.
Yeah.
And Like a Dragon, like the first one, was like back when with the launch of the newer systems.
Yeah.
In
So it's
fact, it
been a
actually came
while,
out in
yeah.
Japan just before they came out anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
Ishin, Like a Dragon Ishin, is a remake of a PS3 game.
yeah.
And then obviously The Man Who Erased His Name is just a spin-off tie-in game to lead
Yeah.
into obviously this proper sequel. So
Yeah. So this is like the first full one, really, of this gen. To be fair.
yeah, the first one like built from the ground up for it, yes, because it was
Yeah.
on PS4, wasn't it, before it got the Series X PS5 updates
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
for the last one.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Yeah, because as I say, the Man Who Erased His Name is kind of it is a spin-off, and it's a lot smaller area, and it's a much shorter game than a mainline one. So, yeah, man, I think I've talked about this enough. It's fucking brilliant, and I really recommend that people play it. I'm loving it. So that's Like a Dragon Ishin. Like a Dragon Ishin, like a Dragon in Infinite Wealth.
Because I
So many
mentioned
games.
it.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's great. So yeah, highly recommend that Aniba website and getting games from dodgy countries if you want them. Well, not dodgy countries, foreign cheaper countries with your VPN. It's great. It's a shame you can't do that on the PlayStation. You can only do it on Xbox. So PlayStation, they don't sell their games as codes. They only.
Well, this is the thing they're getting taken to court over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to dictate the market price for stuff rather than selling your codes online.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that they don't want people undercutting and stuff, but there is a good way round doing that. If you didn't sell your games digitally at all, then that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting that Xbox, they allow resellers or retailers to sell codes for their actual games because like shop2.net, Game Collection, etc. sell the games digital as well. However, PlayStation, you can only you can only buy them on the PlayStation Store. So there's no other way of buying those digital games, which I think is a bit of a piss take, to be fair.
That's the way they'd want it. I mean, they would keep it that way if possible. And to be honest, if the other companies could get away with it as well, they'd probably do the same thing because obviously they all want the proper value for something rather than someone sort of undercutting.
Yeah, that's right. But I like reseller sites because, like on PC, I buy all my games off CD keys because the games are like 20 quid cheaper. You know what I mean? And that's a big old saving, isn't it? So why not? So yeah, it's just something that's just a little bit frustrating about modern gaming, and obviously when the inevitable happens of all digital, then we're going to be kind of stuffed, aren't we?
Well, you guys will be.
Well, PlayStation especially, if it goes that way. But yeah, I know you just won't be playing them. You'll just be like Nick and just playing all the retro stuff.
I'll just either play retro or try and figure out a way to not pay for them at all.
Well, there's always that option if you've got a PC, mate. Actually, I did see an interesting piece of news yesterday about the PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's been cracked.
Oh, right, yeah, it usually doesn't take too long.
Yeah, well, yeah, so I've only saw a brief snippet. Apparently, you can run homebrew on it now, so it's not going to be long before you'll be able to play all your pirated games on PS5 anyway. I don't reckon, So that's quite interesting, I think. But no, something needs to be done because obviously we mentioned last week about physical sales kind of dwindling, game not doing the trade-ins anymore. It's kind of sad, really, because it's going to make it less competition, and we're going to be the ones who suffer for it,
And it does just so happen that you're constantly hearing rumours of like, oh, they're going to keep pushing the price of games up.
Yeah.
And then it'll get to the point where it's like, oh, why are we having to pay? And it's the usual classic of like, people just allowed it to happen and they didn't really give a shit until it was too late. But
well,
that's the way it is.
Well, you go back at one gen of consoles, and the RRP was 50 quid for a game, and now magically this gen it's gone up to 70. I know you can still buy games for less than that, but still that RRP going up by 20 quid.
Yeah, I mean the main reason for that is generally the fact that people out there are stupid, and somehow they think that $70 equals 70 British pounds, and that's how we've ended up doing that massive, like the £20 jump.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it?
But yeah, like I don't know anyone that's really paid 70 quid for a game. I mean, I used to pay way more than that, but that was for import games. So if someone said to you like, you can wait for this game for 50 quid or you can get it now for 70 quid and have it 6 months before anyone else.
Yeah.
Then you didn't mind paying that back then. And obviously sometimes you'd be paying more money for an import title because it wasn't available in another country and they won't ever get it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool that way. Well, this week I have mainly been addicted to and playing a hell of a lot of Remnant 2.
To listen to the rest of this week's awesome episode, you need to subscribe to the Patreon. So head on over to patreon.com/360gamercast. This episode is over 1 hour and 40 minutes long. And myself and Darren, after discussing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, talk about Tekken 8, Palworld, Go Mecha Ball, Battlefield 2042, Final Fantasy XIV, and many more games. So again, that website to subscribe is patreon.com/360gamercast.